The dog wouldn't stop digging. Marcus Holloway watched his German shepherd Rex tear into the lighthouse basement floor with a desperation he'd never seen in 3 years together. Concrete dust filled the air. The dog's paws were bleeding, leaving red smears on the gray stone. "Rex, stop. What the hell are you?" Then Marcus saw it. A metal box, buried 3 feet down in the foundation, sealed with a lock that looked older than the lighthouse itself. His hand shook as he pried it open with a crowbar. Inside, $4.2 million in gold coins, stacked in neat rows, gleaming in the dim basement light like pirate treasure from a fever dream. But that wasn't the shocking part. The shocking part was a note on top, written in his father's handwriting. "To my youngest son, the one they all pitied. You were never the failure. You were always the test. If you're reading this, you passed. The others failed before they even started. This lighthouse was never worthless. Neither were you, Dad." Marcus collapsed against the cold stone wall, the note trembling in his hands. Rex limped over, whining softly, and pressed his bloodied paws against Marcus's chest. This is a story of how the worthless son inherited a worthless lighthouse and discovered his father's final lesson about what real wealth actually means. But it starts 6 months earlier, at a funeral where nobody wanted him there. Chapter 1. Marcus arrived late to his father's funeral. The Greyhound bus had broken down 30 miles outside Portland, and by the time he limped into the chapel with Rex at his side, the service was half over. His prosthetic leg ached. His Goodwill suit didn't fit right. Every eye in that chapel turned to judge him. His siblings sat in the front row, looking like they'd stepped out of Forbes magazine. David, 42, corporate lawyer, $5,000 suit. Jennifer, 39, real estate developer, diamonds on every finger. Robert, 36, investment banker, that Wharton smirk permanently etched on his face. And Marcus, 32, disabled Marine veteran. The family disappointment. The whisper started immediately. "Can you believe he brought the dog? I heard he's barely making rent." His father must have felt so guilty. Jennifer leaned toward David, loud enough for Marcus to hear. "I can't believe Dad invited him. He'll probably ask us for money." Marcus kept his eyes forward. Rex pressed against his leg. The only thing keeping him grounded. Their father, Richard Holloway, had been a self-made millionaire, real estate mogul, cold, demanding, impossible to please. Marcus had been the disappointment, the son who joined the Marines instead of business school, the one who came home with a Purple Heart and a missing leg instead of an MBA and a corner office, the son his father barely spoke to for 5 years. When the lawyer called and said Richard specifically requested Marcus attend a reading, Marcus almost didn't come. But something in the lawyer's voice made him buy that $87 bus ticket, something that sounded like pity. The service ended. People filed past the casket. David networked. Jennifer accepted condolences like awards. Robert looked bored. Marcus waited until everyone left. Then he approached the casket alone, Rex at his side. "I don't know why you wanted me here, Dad," Marcus whispered. "We both know I was never good enough." Rex whined softly. Marcus turned to leave. That's when he saw it. A small envelope tucked into the flowers. His name in his father's handwriting. He grabbed it and shoved it in his pocket. Outside, his siblings climbed into luxury cars. Nobody offered Marcus a ride to the lawyer's office 2 miles away. Nobody said goodbye. Marcus watched them drive away, then looked down at Rex. "Just you and me, boy, like always." Rex's tail wagged once. They started walking. Marcus had walked further on worse legs. The lawyer's office smelled like old leather and expensive regret. Marcus sat in the back corner, Rex at his feet. His siblings clustered near the front, already dividing up the empire in whispered conversations. Mr. Patterson, the family attorney for 30 years, cleared his throat and opened a leather folder. Richard Holloway's last will and testament, dated March 15th, 2024. David leaned forward. Jennifer's eyes gleamed. Robert smirked. "To my eldest son, David, I leave my portfolio of commercial properties in downtown Portland. Current value, approximately $8.3 million. David nodded like he'd expected exactly that. To my daughter, Jennifer, I leave my residential development holdings in Bend and Eugene. Current value, approximately $6.7 million. Jennifer actually smiled. To my son, Robert, I leave my investment accounts and stock portfolio. Current value, approximately $7.1 million. Robert's smirk widened. Then Patterson paused, looked at Marcus. Something like sympathy crossed his face. And to my youngest son, Marcus, I leave the lighthouse property at Cape Mears. The structure, the land, and all contents therein. Silence. Then Jennifer laughed. The lighthouse? That abandoned piece of crap on the cliff. David shook his head. Dad really did feel guilty. Robert turned to Marcus, his smirk dripping with pity. Sorry, little brother. Guess you drew the short straw. Again. Patterson continued carefully. The property includes a lighthouse structure, the keeper's cottage, and 2.3 acres of coastal land. The lighthouse has been decommissioned since 1963. The property is in need of significant repair. In need of repair? Jennifer scoffed. It's a condemned building on a cliff. It's worth maybe $50,000 for the land alone, and that's generous. David was already on his phone. We should celebrate. Marcus, you're welcome to join if... He's not coming, Jennifer interrupted. He probably can't afford it anyway. Robert stood, buttoning his jacket. Look, Marcus, if you need help selling that thing, I know people. We can probably get you $30,000, maybe $40,000. Enough for a year's rent. They talked about him like he wasn't there, like he was invisible. Patterson pulled out a sealed envelope. There's one more thing. Your father left specific instructions. Marcus is to receive this letter, to be read in private. Jennifer rolled her eyes, probably an apology for giving him garbage. David headed for the door. We'll be at Morton's if you change your mind, Marcus. Our treat. The way he said, our treat, sounded like charity. Then they were gone. Patterson handed Marcus the envelope. Up close, the lawyer looked tired, like he'd been carrying a heavy secret. Your father came to see me 6 months before he died, Patterson said quietly. He made me promise not to tell your siblings about this letter. He said you were the only one who would understand. Marcus took the envelope, his name in his father's distinctive handwriting. He also said if you decided to sell within the first month, I was to facilitate immediately. But if you stayed... Patterson paused. He said you figure it out. He said you were smarter than all of them combined. Inside, a handwritten letter and an old brass key with a lighthouse-shaped keychain. The letter read, Marcus, if you're reading this, your siblings just walked out thinking they won while you got nothing. Let them think that. I bought that lighthouse in 1985 for $30,000. Everyone thought I was crazy. Over the years, I offered it to each of your siblings. David said it had no value. Jennifer called it a teardown. Robert ran the numbers and told me I'd lost money. They all failed the test. You're different. When you joined the Marines, they said you were running from success. I said you were running toward purpose. When you came home with that Purple Heart, they pitied you. I was proud. I just didn't know how to say it. That lighthouse is worth more than all their properties combined, not in money. Though there's plenty hidden there if you're smart enough to find it. But in something they'll never have. Meaning, stay 1 month, fix what's broken, learn its secrets. If after 30 days you still think I gave you nothing, sell it. But if you're the son I think you are, you'll understand. Trust Rex. Trust yourself. You were never the failure. You were always my favorite. Dad. Marcus read it 3 times. His hands shook. His vision blurred. He was proud of me, Marcus whispered. The whole time, Rex whined and licked his hand. 1 month. His father had asked for 1 month. Marcus folded the letter and stood, his prosthetic leg protesting. What do you think, boy? One more mission? Rex barked, sharp and clear. Marcus limped out of that office with his head higher than it had been in 5 years. His siblings thought he'd gotten nothing. They had no idea what was waiting at Cape Mears. Neither did Marcus. The drive to Cape Mears took 3 hours. Marcus rented a beat-up Ford pickup, for $40 a day and headed west on Highway 101. Rex sat in the passenger seat, head out the window, ears flapping in the wind. Then he saw it, Cape Meares Lighthouse, perched on a cliff 200 feet above the Pacific. White paint peeling, windows dark and hollow, the light chamber covered in rust and bird droppings, glass cracked and clouded with decades of neglect. The keeper's cottage beside it looked worse. Roof sagging, porch rotting, front door hanging crooked on broken hinges. Marcus sat in the truck for 10 minutes, just staring. 22 million split 3 ways for them, he muttered. And I get this. Rex barked, sharp, the way he did when Marcus was spiraling. I know, boy, Dad said 1 month. Rex jumped out the window and ran straight toward the lighthouse, tail wagging. Marcus grabbed his duffel bag and followed. Inside the cottage, dust thick as carpet, cobwebs like curtains, furniture covered in stained sheets, the smell of mildew and abandonment, but also signs of recent life. A wood stove that looked functional, a kitchen pump that worked, coughing up brown water that ran clear, windows that let in gray afternoon light, and everywhere, signs his father had been here. A coffee mug on the counter, a worn jacket on a hook, a stack of books, lighthouse keeping, coastal navigation, Oregon lighthouse history. Marcus picked one up. Inside the cover, property of Richard Holloway, Cape Meares, 2023. Last year, his father had been coming here recently. Why, Dad? What were you doing? Rex barked from deeper in the cottage. Marcus found him in a study, a desk covered in papers, maps, old photographs of the lighthouse from different eras, a leather journal filled with his father's handwriting. Marcus opened it randomly. March 3rd, 2023. The structure is sound, despite what inspectors say. This lighthouse was built to last. Like Marcus, everyone thinks he's broken. They're wrong. He's the strongest of all of them. Marcus's throat tightened. Another page. June 15th, 2023. Found another hidden compartment. This place has secrets. Layers. David would sell without looking. Jennifer would tear down without thinking. Robert would calculate value and miss worth. But Marcus will understand. Rex whined and pawed at the floor near the bookshelf. Insistent. What is it, boy? The floorboard Rex scratched looked different. Newer. Less worn. Marcus pried it up with his pocket knife. Underneath, a small metal box. Locked. Taped to the top, another note. Day 1. You're here. Good. This box opens with the key I gave you. Inside, the first clue. Welcome home. Dad. The brass lighthouse key fit perfectly. Inside, $5,000 in cash. A photograph of Marcus in his Marine dress uniform. Another note. For supplies, fix the cottage first. Make it livable. The real treasure isn't in the cottage. It's in the lighthouse. But you're not ready yet. Trust Rex. He knows more than you think. Dad. Marcus looked at Rex. The dog sat perfectly still, watching with intelligent brown eyes. You know something, don't you? Rex's tail wagged once. All right, Dad. 1 month. Let's see what you were trying to teach me. He rolled up his sleeves and got to work. Day 3. Marcus spent 2 days making the cottage livable. He patched the roof, cleared cobwebs, scrubbed floors, replaced broken windows. By day 2, the cottage was warm, dry, almost comfortable. But Rex was acting strange. The dog kept disappearing. Marcus would turn around and Rex would be gone, always at the lighthouse door, scratching, whining, desperate to get inside. Not yet, boy. Cottage first. But on day 3, Marcus woke to find Rex completely gone. Rex, he called from the porch. Dawn was breaking, the ocean gray and restless. Rex. Then he heard it, frantic barking from inside the lighthouse. Marcus's heart dropped. The lighthouse door had been locked. He ran, limped ran, across the overgrown path. The door was open, not broken, just open. Rex! The barking came from below, from the basement. Marcus found narrow stone stairs spiraling down into darkness. He pulled out his phone, turned on the flashlight, and descended carefully. The basement was massive. Stone walls, low ceiling, empty except for old equipment, rusted tools, broken lanterns, rotting crates. And Rex, digging frantically at the far wall. Rex, what the hell? Then Marcus saw what the dog had uncovered. A section of the wall looked different. Newer mortar, different colored stone. Like someone had sealed something behind it. Recently, Marcus approached slowly, ran his hand over the stones. They were loose, deliberately loose. He pulled one out. Behind it, a hollow space. And inside that space, another metal box, larger than the first, heavier. Marcus's hands shook as he pulled it free. Rex sat back, panting, watching with those knowing eyes. No lock this time, just a latch. Inside, bundles of old letters tied with string, photographs, and a map hand-drawn, detailed, showing the lighthouse from multiple angles with sections marked in red ink. On top, another note from his father. Day 3. Rex found it faster than I thought he would. Smart dog. Smarter than most people. These letters are from the original lighthouse keeper, Captain James Morrison, 1890 to 1920. Read them. He was like you, a veteran who came home broken and found purpose in an unexpected place. The map shows what he built, what he hid. Follow it. The next clue is in the light chamber. But be careful. The stairs are dangerous. Dad. Marcus untied the first bundle of letters. The paper was yellowed, fragile. The handwriting elegant but shaky in places. He read the first one. June 3rd, 1891. They sent me here to die quietly. A Civil War veteran with shaking hands and nightmares they don't have words for yet. They thought the isolation would finish what the war started. They were wrong. This lighthouse gave me purpose. Every night I climb those stairs. Every night I light that beacon. Every night I save lives. I am not broken. I am a lighthouse keeper. And that means something. Marcus's throat tightened. He read another. October 12th, 1895. Build another hidden compartment today. The lighthouse has become my legacy. Not just a beacon for ships, but a vault for truth, for value, for things that matter more than money. Someday, someone like me will find what I've hidden. Someone who understands that worth isn't measured in gold, but in purpose. Rex barked once. Sharp. Marcus looked up. The dog was staring at the stairs leading up toward the light chamber. You want to go up there, don't you? Rex's tail wagged. Marcus stood, tucking the letters and map into his jacket. His prosthetic leg ached from kneeling on the cold stone floor. All right, boy. Let's see what Captain Morrison left us. The spiral staircase was narrow, steep, 164 steps carved into stone, winding up through the lighthouse tower. Marcus's prosthetic protested with every step. Rex stayed close, occasionally looking back as if checking on him. Halfway up, Marcus had to stop. His breathing was ragged. Sweat dripped despite the cold. The phantom pain in his missing leg screamed. Rex sat and waited, patient, understanding. I'm okay, Marcus lied. Just need a minute. He looked at the map. According to his father's notes and Captain Morrison's drawings, there was something hidden in the light chamber. Something important. Marcus pushed himself up and kept climbing. At the top, the light chamber was smaller than he expected. The massive Fresnel lens, cracked and clouded, dominated the space. Bird nests filled the corners. Broken glass crunched under his boots. But the view, the Pacific Ocean stretched endlessly, gray and powerful and beautiful. From up here, Marcus could see why Captain Morrison had found purpose, why his father had kept coming back. This wasn't just a building. It was a sentinel, a guardian. Rex barked and pawed at the base of the lens mechanism. Marcus knelt beside him. There, hidden in the metal framework, was a small panel, painted the same color as the surrounding metal, invisible unless you knew where to look. He pried it open with his knife. Inside, another box, smaller, older. The metal was corroded, the lock ancient, but the brass lighthouse key still fit. Inside this box, a leather pouch. Heavy, the contents clinked. Marcus opened it carefully. Gold coins, 20 of them, each one stamped with dates from the 1890s. And beneath them, a final letter from Captain Morrison. To whoever finds this, I was a broken soldier who became a lighthouse keeper. I saved 127 lives during my 30 years here. I never became rich. I never became famous. But I became something better. I became necessary. This gold is my life savings. Not much by some standards. Everything by mine. I leave it here not as treasure, but as a test. If you found this, you climbed 164 steps despite whatever pain you carry. You didn't give up. That makes you a lighthouse keeper too. Use this wisely. Build something that matters. Captain James Morrison, 1920-inch. Marcus sat back against the cold metal, tears streaming down his face. Rex pressed against him, warm and solid and real. His father hadn't left him a worthless building. He'd left him a legacy, a test, a mirror, and Marcus was finally beginning to understand. Day 7. Marcus spent the next 4 days following Captain Morrison's map. Each red mark led to another hidden compartment, another piece of the puzzle. Behind a loose brick in the cottage kitchen, $3,000 in old currency and a journal detailing every ship Captain Morrison had guided safely to shore. Under a floorboard in the keeper's bedroom, photographs of the captain with his family, his face weathered but proud. Inside a hollowed-out beam in the cottage attic, more letters, these from grateful sailors whose lives he'd saved. But the map showed one more location, the biggest red circle, in the lighthouse basement marked with the words, "The Truth." Marcus stood in the basement on day 7, studying the map. Rex sat beside him, unusually still, focused. "According to this," Marcus muttered, "there's something behind the east wall, but I don't see any loose stones. No hidden panels." Rex whined. Then he did something strange. He walked to the center of the basement and barked. Once, twice, 3 times. The sound echoed differently. "Hollow." Marcus's heart raced. He knelt and knocked on the floor. "Hollow. Definitely hollow." He pulled out his crowbar and started prying at the stone floor. The first few stones came up easily. Too easily. Like they'd been designed to be removed. Beneath them, wooden planks. Old but solid. Beneath those, stairs, leading down into darkness. "There's a sub-basement," Marcus whispered. Captain Morrison built a sub-basement. Rex was already descending, fearless. Marcus grabbed his flashlight and followed. The sub-basement was small, maybe 10 feet by 10 feet. Stone walls, dry despite being below sea level. Morrison had been a master builder. And in the center of the room, a table. On that table, a large wooden chest. Marcus approached slowly, his flashlight beam shaking. The chest wasn't locked, just latched. He opened it. Inside, more gold coins. Hundreds of them, stacked in neat rows. But also stock certificates, property deeds, bonds, all dated from the early 1900s. And a letter, this one from his father. "Marcus, if you're reading this, you've followed the map. You've climbed the stairs. You've learned Captain Morrison's story. Now you need to know mine. When I bought this lighthouse in 1985, I found Morrison's chest. I had it appraised quietly. The contents were worth $1.2 million then. Today, over $4 million. I never told anyone. Not your mother. Not your siblings. I kept it here as a test. David would have sold it immediately. Jennifer would have spent on status. Robert would have invested it and forgotten why it mattered. But you, I knew you'd understand what Morrison understood. Wealth isn't about money. It's about purpose. This lighthouse saved lives. This gold represents those lives. 127 souls who made a home because one broken veteran refused to give up. You're that veteran now. This is yours. All of it. Use it to build something that matters. Make Morrison proud. Make me proud. You already have. Dad. Marcus collapsed on the cold stone floor, the letter clutched in his shaking hands. Rex lay beside him, resting his head on Marcus's chest. For $1 million. His siblings had gotten $22 million combined, and thought they'd won. They had no idea Marcus had gotten something infinitely more valuable. Patterson looked up, surprised. "Marcus, I didn't expect to see you again. Are you here to discuss selling the lighthouse?" "No," Marcus said. "I'm here to discuss restoration." He placed a folder on Patterson's desk. Inside, architectural plans, contractor estimates, historical preservation permits, and a check for $500,000 as a down payment. Patterson's eyes widened. "Where did you—" "My inheritance," Marcus said simply. "Turns out my father left me more than a building." Patterson leaned back, a slow smile spreading across his face. "He told me you'd figure it out." I didn't believe him. "Your siblings seem so much more capable." "They're capable of making money," Marcus said. "I'm capable of making meaning. There's a difference." Over the next hour, Marcus laid out his plan. Phase 1, restore the lighthouse to full functionality. Work with the Coast Guard to recommission it as an active navigational aid. Phase 2, convert the keeper's cottage into a veterans retreat, a place where former soldiers could come, stay for free, and find the same peace Marcus had found. Phase 3, establish the Captain James Morrison Foundation, a nonprofit dedicated to helping disabled veterans find purpose after service. Patterson listened, occasionally nodding. When Marcus finished, the lawyer said quietly, "Your father would be proud." "Hell, I'm proud and I barely know you." "There's one more thing," Marcus said. He pulled out his phone and opened his email. "I'm sending this to my siblings. I wanted you to see it first." He handed Patterson the phone. The email read, "David, Jennifer, Robert, by now you've probably forgotten about the worthless lighthouse Dad left me. I wanted to update you. Turns out it wasn't worthless. The property includes $4.2 million in gold, securities, and land deeds that Dad hid there over 30 years ago. He left it as a test, when you all failed before you even started. I'm not telling you this to gloat. I'm telling you because Dad wanted you to learn something. You got $22 million combined. I got $4 million. But here's what you didn't get. You didn't get a month of hard work that taught you what you're capable of. You didn't get to meet Captain James Morrison through his letters and learn that broken soldiers can become lighthouse keepers. You didn't get to discover that Dad was proud of you, really proud, because he never thought you needed to hear it. You didn't get a purpose. I'm using my inheritance to restore the lighthouse and build a veterans retreat. You're welcome to visit anytime. No judgment, no conditions. Dad didn't leave me more money. He left me more meaning. I finally understand the difference. Marcus." Patterson handed back the phone, his eyes wet. That's perfect. Will they respond?" Marcus asked. "Does it matter?" Marcus thought about it. "No, I guess it doesn't." He stood to leave, Rex rising with him. "Marcus," Patterson called. "One more thing. Your father left a sealed letter with me. Instructions were given to you only if you stayed the full month and chose to restore the lighthouse." He handed Marcus a final envelope. Outside, sitting on a bench overlooking the Portland waterfront, Marcus opened it. "Son, if you're reading this, you stayed. You climbed the stairs. You found the gold. You met Captain Morrison. And you chose purpose over profit. I knew you would. You were always the strongest one, the bravest one, the one who understood what actually matters. I'm sorry I never told you while I was alive. I'm sorry I let you think you were the disappointment. The truth is, your siblings disappointed me every day by being exactly what I expected. You surprised me by being better than I deserved. That lighthouse is yours. That gold is yours. But more importantly, that legacy is yours. Captain Morrison saved 127 lives. How many will you save? I'm proud of you, Marcus. I always was. Love, Dad." Marcus folded the letter carefully and tucked it in his jacket pocket, right next to the blank lighthouse keeper's badge. Rex leaned against his leg, warm and solid. "Come on, boy," Marcus said, his voice thick with emotion. "We've got a lighthouse to restore and lives to save." They walked toward the parking lot, toward the beat-up Ford pickup, toward Cape Mears, toward home. The lighthouse beam cut through the fog like a sword through silk. Marcus stood in the light chamber, fully restored now, the Fresnel lens gleaming, the mechanism humming. Below, the keeper's cottage glowed with warm light. 6 veterans were staying there this week. 6 men and women who come home broken and were learning what Marcus learned. You're not broken. You're a lighthouse keeper. And that means something. His phone buzzed. A text from David. Saw the article in the Portland Tribune about the restoration and veterans retreat. Impressive work. Dad would be proud. I'm sorry for how I treated you. Can we talk? Then Jennifer. The Morrison Foundation is beautiful. Marcus, I'd like to donate and apologize. I was wrong about you. Then Robert. You turned $4 million into something worth more than all our money combined. That's the best investment I've ever seen. Coffee sometime. Marcus smiled. He'd respond eventually, but not tonight. Tonight, he had a beacon to tend. Rex barked from the doorway, his signal that evening rounds were complete. All 6 veterans were settled, fed, safe. Marcus descended the 164 steps. His prosthetic leg no longer screamed with every step. He'd grown stronger. The lighthouse had made him stronger. In the cottage study, Captain Morrison's old study, Marcus sat at the desk. On the wall, the original lighthouse keeper's badge, Morrison's in a frame. Beside it, Marcus's badge, now engraved. Marcus Holloway, Lighthouse Keeper, 2024. The dash was open-ended, unfinished, full of possibility. He opened a leather journal, his journal now, and wrote, Day 180, 6 veterans staying this week. Sarah, Army Iraq, is smiling again. James, Marines, Afghanistan, climbed all 164 steps today without stopping. Progress. Captain Morrison saved 127 lives in 30 years. I'm just getting started. Rex is asleep by the fire. Dad's letter is framed on my desk. I read it every night. How many will you save? I don't know yet, Dad, but I'm going to spend the rest of my life finding out. The lighthouse isn't just a building. It's a promise. To every veteran who comes here broken, you're not finished. You're just beginning. Tonight, the beacon burns bright. Tomorrow, we climb the stairs again. Marcus closed the journal and looked out the window. The Pacific stretched endlessly under moonlight. The lighthouse beam swept across the darkness. Steady, reliable, unwavering. Somewhere out there, a ship's captain saw that light and adjusted course. Somewhere out there, someone made it home safely because Marcus Holloway climbed 164 steps and lit a beacon. Just like Captain Morrison, just like his father knew he would. Rex stirred by the fire, dreaming dog dreams. His paws twitched. His tail wagged. Marcus smiled. Good boy. You knew all along, didn't you? In the morning, he'd call his siblings, accept their apologies, maybe even forgive them. They'd been taught to measure worth in dollars. It wasn't entirely their fault, but tonight belonged to the lighthouse. Marcus stood, walked to the window, and placed his hand against the cold glass. Thank you, Dad, he whispered, for the test, for the truth, for believing I was strong enough to pass. Outside, the beacon swept across the darkness. Inside, a broken veteran had become a lighthouse keeper, and that meant everything.